I don't know why the term throwing shade makes me so fucking upset, but it does. It's just a stupid fucking thing to say. Like, oh, are you throwing shade my way?
I think we could actually manage to do every single episode. Eric has a new slang term that he doesn't like. Like Eric's new slang term of the week.
Yeah, right? We could do like 9 cold opens.
Yeah, throwing shade. And there are some that make it into Reddit, which makes it so much.
Dude.
Because they just like oversaturate it and like make every post like.
Well, once something becomes popular, it becomes like the title of everybody's thing. They throw in the this thing is
especially
fire.
On
this thing is
especially
fire.
on Reddit. Yeah.
But the one that I noticed this week that I really fucking hate is clap back. Have you ever heard somebody use that?
What?
So
clap back?
Clap back. So apparently that means to respond to someone else throwing shade at you. So like if you said, "Hey Eric, you're a fucking asshole,"
then I
on
would
Twitter,
go like this.
Right? Yeah, that's
Like,
exactly. Yeah, that would be like me on Quitter.
Quitter.
It should be just Quitter. Twitter
You should
be
quit Twitter. It should be called Quitter.
Fucker. But that'd be like me posting on Twitter, "Oh yeah, Gary, well you're an asshole," or "I heard your record sales were poop." You know, I mean,
All right.
Nobody uses.
So that's
poop.
clapping back.
Yeah, retaliating on Twitter. I'm like, why can't we just say insulting and retaliating or retorting or responding? Why do we have to come up with these stupid fucking, like, I'm reading it and I feel like I'm reading a different language. Like, I feel like I'm reading.
Maybe that's they don't want to be understood by older people. Like teenagers want to like be in their own.
That makes sense if I was reading like a 21-year-old's Tumblr, right? Like I would get that. But this is on like Bleacher Report. This is on like the biggest sports news app.
Because they're trying to relate to teenagers.
And I don't get it. Like I'm like, what the fuck?
That's the worst. Like, you know, that subreddit, what's it called? Shit. What's it called?
Fucking I don't know.
No, it's where like it's older people trying to relate to younger kids.
Oh,
Shit.
I don't know.
It's the Steve Buscemi thing where he has his backwards baseball hat and he's holding a skateboard. You really don't know what I'm talking about?
No, you're kind of on an island here. You're just treading water.
Shit. Fellow Kids. It's called Fellow Kids.
Oh, okay.
Like, how you doing, my fellow kids?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I do now.
And it got really popular with Hillary Clinton.
Oh.
When she was like making these tweets, like she made a Covfefe tweet.
No,
she was like,
oh, God.
Yeah, I know.
Oh no.
She said, I don't remember what it was.
Just play the music.
I listened to. I will. But I gotta plug another podcast first. I listened to Reply All episode.
Okay.
Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't. I'll check it out.
They do. Their show is about like stuff that happens on the internet.
Okay.
It's
about people clapping back.
Yeah. No, but they have some really interesting stories. Like, well, just check it out.
I'll
and
check it out.
they did an episode on Covfefe and kind of explained it. And I know it's.
I like how easily
stupid,
you just pronounce that. Everybody else was like "Kafifi"
because I heard them talking about it for 40 minutes.
It's the Illuminati here. Gary actually knows what "Kafefe" stands for.
I think they made to. Yeah, no, it's probably a cult saying or something. Welcome to episode 11
of the Unreasonably Angry podcast. My name is Eric.
And I'm Gary.
And Gary, I'm going to start off this week with a little story, with a little perky tit story.
Story time.
Story time.
Story time.
So, some of you may not know out there, but I work in the city. I work downtown. And
of Seattle.
Of Seattle, yes, let's clarify. So, yeah, just that's the city. So this week, I got to deal with something that I never really dealt with. Like my job, what I do in my job, I've done in several different areas, but I've never had to deal with this. And so this week, I was out of my job, and we realized there was some graffiti on the wall. Ooh. In like 3 different places, like decent sized graffiti. And I'm not a big fan of graffiti. I think it's stupid. I think that's a very obvious thing to say. But
I think
after
most people agree with you.
except for the people spraying it, they're like, "Oh hell yeah, that's gangster."
Well, I mean, like, people do it as an art, but tagging in general.
It's
like,
sick, bro.
Yeah.
So sick. Your name's on there in like somewhat cursive and blue marker.
So I don't know. I'm in a fucking weird mood today. So
Okay.
So I get the joyous experience of cleaning graffiti. Like, I actually had to clean it off my building wall because, you know, I'm just that guy. Like, at work,
Jeez.
I'll step it up and I'll just go, hey, you know, I'll come help. So we go out there and
too bad.
it's a process, man. Like, we had this actual graffiti remover that you spray onto the paint itself that takes the first layer off, but then underneath the layer is like still another layer of the paint that's actually ingrained into the concrete, right? So it's a fucking process.
Yeah.
So we spray that and then we rub it down and then we're like, okay, there's still like the undercoating thing. So then we have this really crazy strong like Goo Gone, like a aerosol Goo Gone. And then we spray that on there and then we're out there scrubbing with brushes just to get this fucking shit off the wall.
How long did it take?
For the one wall, and this was, let's see, there was 6 letters. It was probably a 3 feet by 2 feet square. It was a pretty big tag.
Okay.
It took us about 25 minutes. And I thought to myself, well, actually, not even thought to myself, that the person that was helping me was like, you know, I really think if the person that did this had to come do what we're doing right now,
Oh, yeah.
nobody would do it.
Oh, of course.
And I thought, you think that, but the type of person that's fucking stupid enough to bring paint into the road and then like walk over to our building isn't like a main building, and then you tag your stupid tagger name on the wall. I don't know that even if you did that, that would ingrain anything into your brain that would make you go, oh, you know what? This is probably inconveniencing someone else's day. I shouldn't do this. And I think the type of person that does that kind of shit, that's the same kind of asshole that like, that's the kind of asshole that parks over two parking spaces with their car. Like, you know, when
Yeah.
there's like a line in the parking lot and they cover the 2 spots.
Well,
So you
there's-
can't park there.
Let's go with the 2 type of people in the world thing. There's 2 type of people in the world. There's just people that give a shit about other people, and there's the people who don't give a shit about other people. People who graffiti and people who take up 2 parking spaces don't give a shit about other people. Clearly,
It's true.
because they don't even think about when someone's gonna have to clean up their shit or when someone's not gonna get a parking space because
Yeah.
of them.
But the thing is, what the part that gets me is what's the impact it has on yourself? Like, when you wake up in the morning, do you like drive by that spot every day that you did that thing in, and you're like, hey man, look, there's my name on the wall.
I guess. Or look, hey man, someone had to clean it up. It's not there anymore.
Yeah, you jerk, you're making money to
See,
clean.
But that's the thing. Like, if I did that, like, I don't know why I would. Let's just say, like, I was drunk or something, and I had ill judgment, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. That would never, like, nothing.
No,
I could never get drunk enough.
It's a special gene in your brain.
I could never get drunk enough to be that stupid. But let's say I was, if
Yeah.
I woke up the next morning, I would go, oh shit. Now that I'm sober, I'd be like, oh fuck, I feel terrible for leaving that there. Like, I could never do anything like that.
Well, I don't. Okay, so
Or I could never leave my car in 2 parking spaces.
well, that's the thing. Is like I
I just
understand.
feel so guilty.
I feel bad enough, like when I go to a parking lot and I park next to somebody's car that's parked over the line, so that it causes me to park slightly over the line. I
then
literally,
the next
as I'm getting out
person-
of my car, I think to myself, what if that person leaves and then somebody else comes to park and they're like, look at this fucking asshole. Oh, your car's so cool
Yeah.
to park over the line. I'm like, it's not my fault.
Maybe the original person that made you park over was in the same position. Like, maybe, like, they had to park over because there was another asshole. It's just
Exactly.
like a
So
vicious
I'm already
cycle.
thinking this guy's a dick. And he's like, no, I'm in the same position you were in.
Yeah.
But it actually reminds me of something that happened with my wife. We went out to the mall, right? Mm-hmm. And as new parents, you start noticing like the things that other parents do that make you look bad. And you're like, I don't want to be that person. Like, people go, oh, people with kids, when they come to a nice restaurant, their kids are out of control and beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we're sitting there and we're getting in the car. We're about to leave. I think we were getting like Cafe Rio, right? So I'm like, yeah, let's get some nachos. And the fat kid's coming out. Fat kid's here. So we're like, let's get some nachos and some quesadillas and let's go home and eat. And as we're getting into the car, I look up and there's somebody changing their baby in the back of their SUV. Like, they have the thing open and they're changing the diaper. And I'm like, fuck, I know how that goes, you know, and you're, I'm commiserating with you. I understand. And then the dad puts the baby back in the car, closes the door, takes the diaper and sits it on the side. Doesn't take it up to a trash can, doesn't put it into a bag to take home. He takes the dirty diaper, which looked like a shitty diaper because he was doing work for a bit there.
Yeah.
And put it in like the planter next to the parking spot.
The planter?
Like, you know where the bark is?
Yeah.
Like where there's the light pole, he just like set the dirty diaper there.
And left it.
And left it. And I literally rolled my window and I was like, excuse me. And of course he ignores me because he's, you know, he knows what he's doing. And I'm like, what kind of a piece of shit changes a dirty, shitty, pissy diaper and then leaves it for someone else? Like, it's already bad enough. Like, I actually had somebody stop by my building and I watched them use one of the tables in our like conference room to change the kid's diaper.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of like, eh. But then they walk out with the dirty diaper and they drop it in like our main communal trash bin. And I'm like, dude, if you just told me, hey, I have a dirty diaper, do you have somewhere I could dump it? I would give you something, but not like the one where people dump their coffee straws, because then you're like going to dump a coffee straw and you see a dirty diaper. And I would assume most people, when they see a dirty diaper, they immediately think of poop. Like, there's no, you go, oh, it probably just had a tinkle. And you're like, oh, there's a shitty diaper in that fucking trash can.
For some reason, I'm guessing they're thinking it's acceptable because it's just a baby's diaper. But and it's the same thing with dog's poop too. Like, if you just if someone leaves dog poop in the middle of the grass, they'll think, oh, it's no big deal. It's just dog poop. But here's the thing.
That's like the worst day, though.
No. What?
The day you step in dog poop?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
like the worst day.
Oh, of course.
Your day is ruined. You just go home then. Take off your shoe and just you're done. It could happen at 11 a.m. and I would just call back to work. I'm like, you know what? I'm done for the rest of the day. I'm going home.
But here's the thing. If you just change like the age, like 10 years, let's say you have a 10-year-old and they shit in a paper towel and throw it in a fucking trash can in a lounge. Or in the lobby, I mean.
Yeah.
That's not acceptable.
Not acceptable.
So it's essentially the same thing. It's human excrement.
It's fucking chemical warfare, bro.
In some sort of package. You're putting it. It's the same thing.
And I'm so hyper.
Why is it acceptable? Because it's your fucking baby.
It's not. But that's the thing is, I think we're boiling it down to where our actual issue is. It's people that just it's not me. Yeah. I'm not the one who has to deal with it. So whatever. But it's funny because I'm so hyper aware of it as a parent that like when we change a diaper in public, we have like extra plastic bags in the car that we'll wrap it in and we'll put it in the back of the car. And then when we get home, we'll dump it. So I'm like, I'm not going to have someone else take care of my kid's shit.
Yeah.
Speaking to your other point though, when I was working at GameStop, there was
people shit into paper towels.
Oh, even better. Even better.
Oh no.
Oh, I got a story. I have a story here. you play like the before the story music. I don't know why that's my actually sound.
I don't know what's happening right now.
So
Eric's in a weird mood.
So I'm at work at GameStop, which is already, if anybody's ever worked at a video game store, I hope that you know where I'm coming from. This is just that deep. I worked at a video game store. I've done that. It's like one.
Isn't it the best though? You get like free games and you get to play games all the time.
God, it's like one. It's honestly like one rung below working like a fast food joint. It feels like that while you're there because everybody just assumes that you work there because you're an idiot. And trust me, there are plenty of people that work there because they're idiots. Yeah. But there are people there that I was 19 and 20. I was there to make some money, and as an assistant manager, I was making decent money, and with like the sales, because there were sales bonuses and all that. But anyway, that's not the point of the story. Sure. So one day we're there where it's a little busy. The store's a little full. It's like a Sunday. And there's a family there with a couple little kids. And I'm in the back. I'm like behind the counter. So the way our store was set up is you have like, you walk in the door and then to your right, you have like the PlayStation and the Xbox and the GameCube at the time. Like that's how long ago this story was. Then you have the wall video games. And then to your left, you have like an L-shape counter. Okay. So the side that faces the front door is blocked off, and it's got like the Nintendo, the Game Boy Advance games, and like went around. And there's like the two registers, so you couldn't just walk straight to the front door from there. You'd like walk around the back side of the counter. So I'm standing back there. I'm like processing some stuff, putting some games away, and I hear somebody go, "Oh no!" And I go, "Uh-oh!" And when you're in GameStop and you hear "Oh no," you're like, "Oh God, what happened now?" So somebody walks over and goes, "So excuse me, there's there's poop. There's poop on the floor. And I'm like, what? What? So we walk over, and the front, we had like the carpet out front of the door. And then when you walked in, you have that other carpet, the little, like the little, like 5x3 one that you step on so you can wipe your feet off.
Right.
And right in the middle is this little fucking like 3 or 4 inch turd. Just a person poop.
Person turd.
Person poop. And I literally, and I'm the assistant manager, I'm the manager on duty, and my brain just shuts off. It's like, how? Why? What am I supposed to do with this? What the fuck am I supposed to do with this?
Oh my God.
So we look out, and there's a dad walking out to the car with his little kid. And I think what had happened was, it's like his little daughter, like 3, 4, 5 years old, had like pooped, and like it came out of her shorts or skirt or whatever it was she was wearing. Now, I apologize to anybody out there if this is grossing you out, but fuck off. So, so there's poop, and we basically have the store full of people just kind of looking over their shoulders trying to figure out what the hell we're going to do with this. And eventually we just basically pulled straws, and I was like, fuck it, just throw that whole carpet away. So the odd man out ended up having to carry this giant fucking like 5 foot by 3 foot carpet folded over like a taco out to the garbage can, and he's walking. He's walking
it as far out as possible.
And he's just kind of like, he's got his head back with like a disgusted face. Like, oh God, what happened to my life?
Oh my God.
And I'm upset, but I'm like, it was a little kid. I could get it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But even then, as the dad, you could have walked over and said, hey, do you have some paper towels? Or, hey, my daughter had an accident. You just bolted. You just left.
If you noticed, I mean... I know, but...
He fled the scene. He knows. Every parent can tell you they know when their kid's going to the bathroom. Like, it's not a secret. The kid just, like, stops moving. And then you can, like, sit, like, wait, why is my kid being so still right now? Oh, yeah, that kid's taking a shit. Mm-hmm. That's basically what happened.
Yep.
Yeah, we just opened the show with poop. That's
poop story.
But it's
nothing
true.
Like a good old poop story.
Yeah, exactly. But the truth of the matter is, though, it's a specific type of person. Like, the type of person that would graffiti... in my mind, is the same person that would shit on your rug. Like, that's him. That's you, man.
Well, you're the person who would let their daughter.
No, that's the thing. The guy who graffitied our wall, he's a 30-year-old carpet pooper. Like, that's him. That's how I think of that person. You're a 30-year-old carpet pooper. And you just fled the scene of the crime.
30-year-old carpet pooper. That should be the name of the episode. No, just kidding.
Oh, God. So did you hear about this this new tax, this new Seattle tax? I know we're not a political show, right? Mostly just because I don't know enough about politics to really like have an educated opinion.
Well, it's just because you don't know what kind of reaction.
Speaking of poop,
when talking about
all crap. Well, yeah, and you don't want to go off on a tangent and then have to come back and go, I was wrong about that.
Yeah.
But so there's a new tax in the city of Seattle, and I guess it just passed its first like hurdle.
Okay.
And when I first heard about it, I was like, that's fucking annoying, but that'll never pass. Which I guess if we go back in history, there's been a few things that have happened that were like, well, that'll never happen.
Well, 2017 is the year of that'll never happen, and then it happens.
Yeah, I mean, we could boil it down into like a few different areas. I mean, look at the Patriots game. They were down 28-3. Oh, they're never coming back. Oh, well, fuck me. Look at that. Anybody who lives in Atlanta listening to the show right now is like, fuck you.
Or we ended like 100-year streak of the Cubs will never win.
Yeah, that was in October. Yeah. Well, it was really funny because I remember, not to like get political, but it was funny because right when the World Series ended, I remember people going, hey, and then soon we're going to be celebrating Hillary's victory. Well, oh boy. It's like watching Back to the Future, and you're like, know what's gonna happen.
Like all of the shirts people had to throw away, and the mugs.
There's like poor little kids in like foreign poor countries that are willing. I'm with her T-shirts.
There is a country somewhere with tons of little kids wearing Hillary 2000.
There's a kid playing like tag with his friend. One of them's wearing a Cleveland Indian World Series shirt, and the other one's wearing I'm with her.
Oh, that's for some reason that's such a comforting thought. Like, hey, we supplied
you're all
with shirts.
Yeah, they're all miserable together, but they don't know. They're cool.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, this tax. So from my understanding, and again, when I say it's from my understanding, I could be wrong, and it's very possible somebody could email and go, hey, this is actually what it is, and if that's the case, that's sure. But this is more for our entertainment purposes and us to shoot the shit and be pissed off about stuff.
Yeah. What is it?
I know that was a long way of getting back to the point. So as the tax was proposed, my understanding is they were going to tax sugary drinks 1.75 cents per ounce to battle obesity. That was how it was originally explained.
Soft drinks.
Soda and soft drinks. Okay. And when I first heard it, all I thought of was Leslie Knope. I thought of her at the meeting with
Sweetums and
Sweetums, and she's got the child size.
Yeah, they're like, what was it? If a child couldn't drink that, no. If you liquefy a child, they would fill this container.
Yeah, and then she's like sitting there eating the sugar.
Yeah.
So I get that to an extent. If they're saying, hey, we want to battle obesity, personally, I think shut the fuck up. Like, if you want to battle obesity, let's educate people. You can't penalize people. That's not the way to do it. You're overreaching. Like, you're involved in people's lives now. It's a slippery slope, in my opinion. Again, that may be a little political, but it's a slippery slope.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't want people telling me what I can eat and drink. Like, that's just weird.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
Sure.
My first thought to that was, okay, well, it's sugary drinks. Is it going to include Starbucks? Because if I'm going to a gas station and I'm getting soda out of a soda machine, and that's full of sugar, and I go to Starbucks and I get a Frappuccino made for me that's full of sugar, would the tax apply to that?
Does it?
As of this time, no.
Okay.
Well, the thing is for me is that most people are like, well, that's good. Well, why is that good? If it's a sugary drink, it's a sugary drink, wherever you get it from. But then, of course, Seattle's not going to tax their number one,
Right.
like the company that's from here. There's like a million locations. That would be a crap ton. Though if you think about it, it'd be a really quick way to make a lot of money, right? Apparently, it will apply to their pre-bottled drinks that you buy in the store, like the bottled Frappuccinos that you don't drink because they have milk in them.
Okay.
So originally what had happened was they filed this tax and they said that it's unfair because, and I want to make sure that I'm quoting this correctly, these are not my words, that affluent white people tend to drink diet sodas. That's what they said. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. So they decided to include diet sodas. So now it's no longer a sugary drink. It's a artificially sweetened drink. So for someone like myself, I don't drink a lot of soda. I don't drink Coke or Pepsi. I drink diet ginger ale on occasion. Well, quite often.
Wait. Isn't fruit juice artificially sweetened?
Dude, you're preaching to the choir here. So,
well, I mean, like, where's the
if it's
line?
not, exactly my point. Exactly my point. So when I was originally looking at it, I'm like, okay, well, that's fucking stupid. Like first you said this was about obesity, but if people are not drinking regular sodas, they're drinking diet sodas to try to not drink that much sugar to not be obese.
Yeah. Well,
Now they're being penalized for trying to avoid what you thought was causing obesity in the first place. Then I thought, holy shit, if I buy a 12 pack and it's 1.75 per ounce, okay?
1.75 cents.
1.75 cents per ounce.
ounce.
So if you figure a 12 ounce soda, you're in that 15 extra cents, right?
Yeah.
Which people are like, oh, who cares? It's 15 extra cents. But if you think about it, we already live in an area where our tax is like 10% sales tax.
Yeah.
So now you're putting it at like 25% sales tax on a single soda. If you extrapolate that, and you put it on like a 12 pack of soda, it takes your, like, from a $6 12 pack to like an $8 12 pack. You go to somewhere like Costco where you buy like the big flats of them. I mean, you're talking about a shit ton of extra money. I'm all for.
Seems a little much.
It seems a little much.
I get the intention, but it just doesn't seem.
The part to me that just fucking
executed
irritated me the
well.
most really was if they want to tax sugary drinks, that's fine. For them to go, we want to now tax diet drinks,
yeah.
And then for them to even include that, oh, it's because certain people drink, that to me was just like, what?
Wait, that's what the lawmakers were thinking? Or is it just people, like, protesting it? Or
no,
whatever?
From what I understand, again, this is just what I was reading, was that part of the explanation of why they decided to include the diet sodas was because they noticed that affluent white people, I'm pretty sure those were the exact words. I was like, what the fuck?
So it would be like discriminating or something?
I guess so. Originally, so what they thought is that if they only taxed sugary drinks, they would be discriminating against a certain group of people. And I think they even said minorities. I'm like, this is so fucking bizarre. Like, this is such a weird.
When you're talking about soda and then it's like somehow it gets into this huge socio-political issue,
Right?
maybe you should just stop what you're doing and take a few steps back and go, should I be doing this? Like,
well, my thought process was like, okay, well, if you're,
it's fucking soda.
it's soda. Yeah,
I
it's
don't
soda.
understand.
And so I'm like, if you're,
But leave it to Seattle for it to be this kind of an issue, like immediately. Suddenly it's like,
yeah,
we're talking about, oh my gosh, I don't even know.
so, well, it's like,
The
if you're,
shit that happens in Seattle is
and
what
the thing,
I'm saying.
we grew up, I grew up with some of it in San Francisco. I grew up with it because I live close
Yeah,
enough there that I
yeah,
saw it.
yeah.
But because I'm an adult now and I see more of it, and because I work downtown, I see all of it. I'm like, holy shit, there's some crazy fucking things that people are worrying about around here.
Yeah.
But if you're going to say the reason we're doing it is to battle obesity, right? If that's actually the reason, then why wouldn't you tax only sugary drinks to try to get people to drink diet drinks?
Diet,
if it would help.
Yeah.
Then a friend of mine and I were talking about it, and it was like, it's really funny that this is what we're talking about, right? They go, okay, we're look at all the extra tax we've made from cigarettes. Look at the extra tax we made from alcohol. Sure.
Yeah.
Difference between alcohol and soda as far as what it does to your body. I mean, if you want to get into debate about that, that's one thing.
Well, you don't become a soda-holic and ruin your life.
Some people do. Some people do become dangerously addicted to soda. I've actually seen people that polish a 12-pack every day. Like, it's crazy. But then again, that's a little different than, because you're not going to get behind the wheel of a car and drink a Pepsi and accidentally kill someone.
Right.
Which I think is where most people get into the stuff about alcohol, is more of how it could potentially affect others.
Yeah.
Cigarettes, I understand more, because when you're smoking, that generally affects anybody who's within like a 25-foot radius of you. So that part I get.
Yeah.
But we thought it was really funny that you're so worried about people making themselves fat, yet Seattle has safe houses for using heroin.
Yeah.
No, I'm not having an opinion at all whatsoever.
We'll touch slightly on that
people.
subject,
Yeah, I don't have an opinion whatsoever on the safe use areas. If they're keeping them off the street using, that's fine. But it's weird to me that you're taxing because you're worried about people getting fat. Yet what are we doing to combat the actual epidemic, the opioid addiction and the heroin addiction in the city? That's the part that I thought was so interesting. I'm like,
it's like what we were talking about last week when we were talking about, like, if you're going to make a difference in the world, like we were saying, like, don't try to fix everything at once, because then you're not going to be able to fix anything if you like spread yourself thin like that.
Sure.
And the government and like local government, state, federal, whatever, is the same way. Like, if they try to tackle everything at once with all of their resources and all of their energy, then it's never going to work. They have to, do it methodically.
yeah.
And like, yeah, if we're like trying to combat the opioid epidemic at the same time as obesity, like,
focus on one. Like,
focus
let's
on one. Maybe the one where people are dying and it's affecting everyone around them.
That's my whole
and,
point.
like,
Is they're basically, there's a strong connection between.
I'm not saying people don't die from obesity, but
Of course. No, that's my point. Is I'm not trying to be too serious about this. Like, I don't.
we're just looking at it from the people who pay taxes. We're just,
Exactly.
We're taxpayers.
And it's a stupid
We
reason to
vote
get
on
angry, and
things.
whatever. It's 12 more cents. But the thing is there's so many weird little nitpicky taxes that we pay that I'm like, okay, look, if you want me to pay a little extra to help like kids in a classroom, or help repair roads, or actually help find the connection between opioids and people using heroin and how it's ruining people's lives, I'm all for that. If you're telling me, as someone who doesn't drink regular soda, that you're going to tax regular soda drinkers because you want to help them not be fat, why it's not really your fucking business anyway. But let's just say that's your choice. As someone who has gone up and down in weight, sometimes I'm heavier than I'd like to be, but that's my choice, and that's my life, right?
Yeah.
As long as I'm not, Jesus, this could go on like a whole different topic. Okay. As long as I'm not leeching off of other people to pay for me to be fat, that should be my choice. Like, I pay for my own insurance. I take care of myself. If I'm like a fat guy who just keeps getting fatter and fatter and fatter, and I'm leeching off the government and I'm getting free help, those kind of things, I understand where people get upset. I do. But if people aren't, if this is just people's choice to drink a sugary drink, they should be penalized for that, just because you're worried about what some people may do.
Yeah.
That being said, as someone who doesn't drink those things, why should I be penalized for drinking what you want me to drink, for doing the alternative, for trying to not drink this sugary drink? I mean, there are plenty of regular strength sodas that taste better than the diet versions.
Yeah.
Me, I don't really care. I don't. It's too sugary. It's just too sweet. But you're flipping around and you're not doing what you said you were doing. Now, when you start involving, like you said, socio-political aspects to it, now it becomes like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. So what you're saying is like we have these two issues, obesity and the opioid. I mean, it's silly to pit them up against each other, but you're saying like, and I agree with you that the government shouldn't really be concerned about issues that don't affect that are personal choices that don't affect the community.
Yeah.
Like as a whole.
Yeah.
And which.
This may not be unreasonable anger. This may be actually reasonable. Like, you may actually be reasonable for once.
We're going into reasonable territory.
This is a very adult episode. Well, we started talking about poop, so we're good.
Yeah. But when you have someone buying a soda and, you know, on the regular and, you know, gaining weight because of it, that's a problem for them. It's their problem.
Yeah.
Like, it's their choice to buy the soda. It's their choice to not pay attention to their weight. But when you have people using needles on the street of a city and like leaving them there, and you know, you've talked about horror stories that I've heard at your work, and it's really a problem. It's a problem everywhere in America right now, but in major cities, but especially
not even just major cities. My
Seattle.
family lives on the East Coast in like New Hampshire, which is not a very huge area.
Yeah,
and it's a full-on epidemic. Like, people are dying left and right from heroin overdoses and things like that. So like I said, it's a touchy subject because you don't want to come across as like you don't care about certain parts of it, because I do. I want people to be safe, but I also want to make sure that we're like protecting people around it. Like if I see needles on the ground and like a little kid walks by, like that's fuck, man. Like that's a different level.
Yeah, we've had discussions about how to go about it before, and we've agreed and disagreed on some of those ways, but it's tough. I don't think the way to go about obesity is to tax soda. I agree with you. I think it's,
and the thing is the argument on the other side, you know me, I like to play devil's advocate, is, well, if you don't want to pay the tax, then just don't buy it. Or if
that's
you
stupid.
Well, speak with your dollars. But somebody made a good point. I was reading one of the forums about this, and they brought up that it could possibly be the mayor trying to divert attention from other real problems that he has going on right now, which I won't get into in too much detail, but you can look those up online.
Yeah,
and the other one
is
is
a scandal with the Seattle mayor at the moment.
Yeah, just a small,
just a tad,
one. Just a little. Yeah,
yeah.
Let's
He's not going to run
attention.
again, right? He decided.
Dude,
not
there's no way you could.
Yeah,
like, nobody's going to vote for him now.
Right.
The other part of it is people are going, well, they just drive out to Bellevue. Drive out to Bellevue and buy your soda and then take it back to Seattle.
That's
the
stupidest fucking.
It's the truth, though.
Again, but where does that end?
That's the point.
Where do we draw the line there?
But if you think about it, how many people do you know that drive to Oregon to like buy stuff at Costco because of the sales tax difference? I know people that during the Christmas season will drive down to Oregon.
Insane.
Because it saves hundreds of dollars. But anyway, it's like that's a
Yeah. Anyway.
But anyway,
I'm also really lazy, so I go to gas stations in Oregon so that they can pump my gas for them. I just like sit back and drink my soda that I didn't pay a tax for and just go, yeah, that's right. You pump my gas.
Pump my gas, motherfucker. Did I tell you when we came through Oregon, when we moved up here?
Wait, I had the same experience.
I didn't know what to do.
You're gonna say you didn't know? Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, you don't have to do that, man. And he's like, no. Like, he's like, I have to. And I was like, no, I can do it. Don't worry about it. He's like, no, sir. I can't let you do that.
Yeah, legally. Yeah.
And so I was like standing there like, I can't touch my own car with my...
Right.
I said, all right. So I said, instead of like being weird about it, I was like, all right, it's kind of cool. And I'm standing back and I'm like, so how's it going, man?
Well, did you remember or did you forget?
Oh, I totally forgot.
Yeah, I forgot. So he came up, it was like pouring. I was like getting my jacket on. He was like, hey, what kind? I was like, regular. Like, oh yeah.
Like, I got this, man. You thought I was like, because you're from like, when you grow up in Orange County, you drive to LA and somebody walks up and tries to like do stuff for you. You're like, no, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because you're from
LA is a different story.
Like spits on your windshield. I got this for you.
I don't need flowers, buddy. Please. Yeah. No, Seattle. Yeah, Seattle's an interesting beast.
I love it here. Don't get me wrong.
No,
I
it's
absolutely
great.
love it here. There's so many great parts, but it's funny to have somewhere where you love so many aspects of it, and there's so many parts that just make you scratch your head. You're like, what the fuck?
Well, did you hear there was this might be a big whole thing. There was going to be a protest against Sharia law.
Oh no, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be in Portland though.
Oh
Did you
yeah,
hear
it happened
that?
here. Yeah.
It was going to be in Portland, but they didn't want to do it there because of the recent there was some
stabbings?
Yeah. You can just
Jesus, this episode's dark.
I know. Just Google Portland stabbings. I'm not going into it.
Yeah, just Google that.
But that's the awful thing. There's so many awful things happening in the
That's
world
right
right now that
again,
it's just
it's
like, yeah,
reasonable
just
anger.
Google it. I don't have time to explain
Yeah.
how awful that is. Anyway. Anyway. So they did it here, but then like 3 times the amount of people showed up protesting.
To anti-protest.
Protesters.
Yeah.
That's Seattle. Like, why would you even try to? That'd be
well,
like if
part
someone like if someone did a Trump rally in the middle of downtown. Like, could you imagine? People would die. Like,
Well, no, that's the part though. That's the part I gotta say.
yeah.
That's the part that bothers me though. Like you should be allowed to protest whatever it is you want to protest within reason. Like, right? Like if you want to go
But
be an
where does it
idiot-
end?
But-
Like the
but-
people who protest the protesters have the right to protest too.
Sure,
Like,
sure, as long as it's in a respectful way. But apparently, the cops yesterday had to pepper spray a bunch of people. They had to arrest
Yeah.
people. They had to break up a fight. Like the thing for me is
well, there's a difference between protesting and rioting.
well, yeah, but that's the thing is though that line is so fine right now
Yeah,
that almost
especially right
every
now.
time. But that's why during the May Day protest this year, I don't know if you saw, but there was a group of Trump supporters and a group of anti-Trump people
Yeah.
in the middle of Seattle.
Yeah.
And they met up in the middle and they roll a joint and they smoke together. And that to me was like,
That's
okay,
Seattle.
that's the Seattle that I love. Like
Yeah.
I don't agree with Trump. It's not like I'm sitting here preaching his praises, but I also believe in people's right to have their own opinion. I believe in people's right to do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
As long as it's within reason. Now, if you're chanting down the streets, chanting a
democracy.
bunch of fucking like hateful shit, I understand people wanting to anti-protest, but by you going out there and being a dick toward them, you're not actually making your side look smarter. You're just bringing yourself down to their level. Like we saw that one where on the UW campus where there were some pro-Trump people out there, and it was a bunch of the what they call the Antifa group or whatever, and they all cover their faces and shit, and they're all throwing things at each other, and I'm like, all you're doing is you're making me not want to listen to your side of the argument.
Yeah.
And as someone who sits kind of in the middle on most things, like for me to go, okay, well, this group looks like a bunch of idiots. Well, now this group looks like a bunch of idiots. I'm like, well, now you're just a bunch of idiots with a bunch of idiots. Like if you guys
We're
actually,
all a bunch of idiots.
well, yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, me sitting in the middle going, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. Well, you're right. No, I mean, it's not like I know what I'm not, I don't think there is a right or wrong. That's the thing.
the thing. There's culture now is like there has to be a right and there has to be a wrong. Like
Yeah.
someone, especially there has to be someone who's wrong.
Well,
it
that's-
can't be we're both right. That's impossible.
But no, but that's not
Like-
new. I mean, think about the,
No, I know it's
the
not new, but
Crusades.
it's-
You know, the Crusades.
yeah.
Like that war happened because back then you had
of-
there
both
was
of
no
them
right or
are-
there was
yeah.
not we couldn't be both be right a little bit. It was I'm so right and you're so wrong. They want to murder all of your people.
Yeah.
Like
It's ingrained into our
it
human
is.
psyche.
It's so
Yep.
stupid. Like I actually don't see like I am not a Trump person, right? I wasn't a Hillary person either. Like
Yeah.
I think Bernie made the most sense out of everybody, but we're not gonna get too political. But I think most people listening to this would probably go, yeah, Bernie was the least crazy of all of them.
Well, especially in hindsight.
Yeah.
Hindsight
since
is
she's still-
2020 on that Bernie.
She's still on a tour, like talking about it. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
Like you both need to just, but being as someone I wasn't on either, I know people that support Trump and I don't talk to them much and they don't affect me much. Like it doesn't, their opinion on him doesn't affect me.
Yeah.
And there are people that are still crying about Hillary losing, and while they have a right to feel that way, it doesn't affect me at all.
Yeah.
So it's really weird to me how angry some people get that some people have an opinion that's different than them. The only way I can relate to it at all, and we've talked about this before, is sports. I grew up a Yankee fan. Most of my family lives in New Hampshire, so they're Boston Red Sox fans. And the teams hate each other. They have for a very long time. It's not as bad as it used to be. But even then, like as a 49er fan, living in the Seattle area where there's Seahawk fans everywhere and they hate my team,
Yep.
I still don't feel the need to just hate people because they're a Seahawk fan.
Yeah. they
Even
have
when
the
they're just
right to
trashing
be.
on my
They
team.
live here.
It doesn't make sense. And I
Yeah.
know people go, well, sports is not as important as politics. And I'm like, but that's the point though.
But it's become similar.
Exactly.
Like,
you're
it's-
acting like
people act the same way for
crazy
both.
fanatical
Yeah.
whack jobs that are like, oh,
Yeah.
you think differently than me? Let me throw a battery at you.
Like you
what
have
the fuck?
Right, you have the people who like are celebrating that Trump won, who would be the same people who are celebrating
The Patriots
a
one.
a sports team, and like people getting mad at them for that. But really, like you shouldn't be mad at people who supported Trump. You should be mad at Trump if you're mad about things.
Exactly.
Like,
I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people that supported Trump that, I mean, it's easy to go back and go see how wrong you were, but those people may not have thought it was going to be this bad back then.
yeah.
But what's really funny, just to kind of
can't
tie up
blame
that
them.
that point, was there's a guy who had gone to the UW one or a Portland one. It was one of the anti-fascism versus Trump protests, and he brought Pepsi. So he
Yeah.
tried to bring in a whole 12-pack, and the cops wouldn't let him.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Why not?" And he's like, "I'm just trying to give people a nice cold,
Well, he has to
refreshing
pay
Pepsi."
the tax on them.
Oh, God damn it. Jesus Christ. So he goes, let me bring this 12-pack in. I'm going to give people a nice, calm, or cool, refreshing Pepsi. And the cop goes, no. And he goes, why not? And he goes, because what will happen is you'll bring them in there and people use it as a weapon.
Oh,
And he goes, oh, fuck, no. So he sneaks in a few. And toward the end of the video, he hands somebody a can of Pepsi. And, of course, it gets thrown at somebody
yeah,
else.
of course.
These sons of bitches.
Yep. So that's as political as we get.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how we got there from soda, but that's our podcast.
Next week, let's give our take on Theresa May.
That was episode 11 of the Unreasonably Angry podcast. My name is Gary.
My name is Eric.
And thank you for listening. Be sure and rate and review us on iTunes or Facebook. We'd love to hear from you.
If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, comments, you want to tell us we were too political in this episode or want to give us shit for talking about shit, send us an email at unreasonablyangrypodcast@gmail.com. And until next time, stay angry, fuckers.